Hey everyone! Well, today's puzzle is really weird, and it's really difficult, I guess, to try to solve it all the way till the end, but I believe in you and I do believe that you can find a solution for this one. Now, it is white to move, and we want to make a queen. But of course, we cannot make a queen right away because he can take the bishop with a check, we move the king somewhere, and we lose the queen, and this is losing for white. So we cannot do that. We cannot push the pawn, make a queen. You might think about, you might think about a bishop to c5, attacking the rook. You're still looking at this square. If he gave any kind of checks, you're defending the pawn. But the problem with bishop to c5 is that this move allows black to go all the way there to a8 to stop the pawn from promoting. Now you might be thinking, well, this is fine. We can just get the king closer, king here, we push the pawn, and we make a queen. Well, that's not how you win this, because after rook here, we attack the rook. He can actually sack the rook for it, for the pawn. After king takes, this is a draw, and this is exactly what black wants. This is a draw, and black is trying to sacrifice the rook for the pawn, and it will end up in a draw. Your task in this puzzle is to try to figure out a way not to draw this, to make a queen, and to win this game. Now, pause the video and try to find the best move, the first best move for white in this position. It's not bishop here, and it's not moving the pawn, making a queen. Okay, hopefully you paused the video for a while and you thought about this one. Now, moving the king, you might be thinking, well, I can just go here and I protect the bishop. Well, the same thing. He can just go there. Whenever you try to get closer, he will put the rook here and sack the rook for the pawn, and it will end up in a draw. So, the main theme of this, or the first way to try to solve this, is to stop the rook from ending up on a8. Now you might be thinking that's impossible of stopping the rook of being on a8. He can just play that on the next move. Unless you played bishop a7. This move is nuts, and I actually found it when I tried to solve this puzzle. So this is the first move that I found, but the next move for black, it kind of, caught me off guard. Now, this move, bishop to a7, it might seem like a really stupid move. Now, let's see what happens if he took with the rook. If he takes with the rook, that's just a thank you very much. We have a queen. Now, yes, this is. I'm not gonna say this is super easy for white to win this because the rook is really close to the king, but it is winnable for white, and it's maybe a +2, +2.5 for white. So you just try to get the king closer, give some checks, isolate the rook from the king, and win the rook through a fork, something like that. So he cannot take with the rook because we can make a queen. What if he takes with the king, though? We cannot make a queen. The same check, and he picks up the queen, and this is winning for black, actually. The move here, which is a crazy move, king to d4. The idea of king to d4, we're stopping the rook of being on e3, and the king right here is in the way of the rook, so the rook cannot teleport there to stop the pawn, and the king is stopping the rook from being on this square, so it seems like our pawn can move. But you might be thinking about, oh wait, he can give a check first. Well, the main thing you have to do is not move anywhere to these squares where he can take control of the e4 square so that whenever you push, he will take the pawn. We just move king d5, stopping the rook from being there. If there's another check, we go here. Another check, we go here, and now he has no more checks. The pawn will promote. He cannot go here, we can just take it and promote. So this is losing for black. But after the brilliant move bishop to a7, see, he's not forced to take with the rook or to take with the king. He can play a very tricky move, rook to a2. See here what I did not see. I saw that after bishop to a7, black is losing. Black can just go give some checks, we can run away and make a queen. But I did not see, after I played the move, I did not see rook to a7, rook to a2. This move is really sneaky, because if you want to make a queen now, The same thing, check, and he takes the queen, and the bishop cannot block. So pause the video again and try to find the best move for white here to try to make a queen and not get checked to lose the queen that you just made. Okay, hopefully you pause the video for a while and you try to find the best move. Now, the only move here in the position, which is kind of nuts, it is king to f4. You're actually not stopping black from going to e2 because it's completely impossible. The king is very far away and the bishop is a dark square bishop, so it cannot stop the rook from being on e2. But the bishop is stopping this check on f2. So of course he cannot take with the king because we make a queen. He cannot take with the rook because we can make a queen. So he cannot really make an intermezzo winning the bishop. He cannot win the bishop. The entire point of the bishop being there is to stop the rook from going there to stop the pawn. Now you might be thinking, okay, there is no check for black because the bishop is covering. Black can play rook to e2. And the entire point of king to f4 is to play bishop to e3 to block the rook vision of the pawn. Now the king is far away, cannot stop the pawn, he cannot give us any checks, and after black moves somewhere, we make a queen and we're completely winning this game. But see, another move, he is not forced to take the bishop or take like this or play rook to a2. He can play rook to a1. This is a crazy, crazy move. The same thing. He's trying to give us a check here to try to take this pawn. And he, like after some kind of a check, even if we protect it with the king, he will sack the rook for the pawn and it's going to end up in a draw. This is exactly what black wants a draw. So now, the same thing after like a rook to a2, we just play king to f4. But the bishop, as you see, cannot stop the rook from giving this check. And of course, if black played rook to e1, this is the exact same blunder as before, because we can put the bishop here, he can give us some checks, but we can run away and he cannot stop the pawn from promoting. Even if he went here, we can just take it. That's why he plays rook to f1 check. Now, I know this sounds crazy, because now we can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squares for the king. You might be thinking, oh, I have to be very focused on which one is going to be winning. But actually, all of these 6 moves or 6 squares will lead to a draw. You might say, well, what? What do I do? This is a check. I have to move my ass. I have to move my king. Well, let's see what's going to happen if we move to one of these 3 squares here. If we moved here or here or here, it doesn't really matter. Rook to e1, and there's no way to defend the pawn. Even if he played bishop here, he just sacrificed the rook for the pawn, and after bishop takes, it is a draw. So it is not possible. Now, so not possible to go on any of the 3 squares. Let's say the king went to one of these 3 squares. The same thing, check, and he will sacrifice first of all, he's going to take the bishop. He's going to take the bishop, sorry. He's going to take the bishop. Because if we made a queen, so let's say bishop, king takes bishop, we make a queen, there's a check, the king moves somewhere, and this is winning for black. So this is not drawable, it's actually losing for white. In this position, 6 moves, all of them are drawish. The only move, which is nuts, I did not see that, and I was completely shocked when I see this move. Bishop to f2. Oh my god. This move is nuts. This move is crazy. What the hell? The entire point of this move is to stop a rook to e1, stopping the pawn from making a queen. Now you might say, well, this is just a free bishop. Well, yes. Well, after rook takes bishop, we have to stop the rook from being on e2 to stop the pawn from making a queen. And the only way to stop the rook from being here is to play king to e3. You're attacking the rook, stopping it from being on e2. If the rook moved anywhere on this file, we make a queen. But the final trick for black is to play rook to f1. If we make a queen, the same thing, check, and he picks up the queen and he's completely winning this. We just have to play king to e2. We're attacking the rook one more time. We're stopping rook to e1. wherever the rook moves, it will be losing for black because we can make a queen, he cannot stop us. And yes, a queen and a king versus a king and a rook, it is winnable for white, but it is tricky and it is um, very tricky actually, but it is winnable according to the engine, and it is winnable. It's like +2, almost +3. And now wherever he moves, for example, let's say he moves here, trying to give checks on this side, we make a queen, some kind of checks, but at the end, he will end up having no checks. And if he blundered like something like that, or you can just keep giving checks until you can fork him, like for like a move like this, and you will pick up the rook. It's not going to be this easy, but if your opponent blundered, yes, it's going to be very easy. And I really hope that you like this puzzle, and please tell me in the comments if you managed to solve it all of these variations, you found the correct move after each time I gave you like specific time to think about the solution. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna see you tomorrow or later with another video. Bye.